The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
In this edition, we hear from a strict, sexy-sounding Hungarian model who's also a fitness expert. Now, she sounds like she's going to whip us all into shape rather quickly.
She does. And we give you some help on how to create the perfect profile picture.
Now, just out of interest, when did she come in, actually? Because I missed that one.
Well, I was a bit worried that we might have too many people hanging around by the window, so I just did it discreetly one Sunday morning.
Thanks very much for that. Now, this January is expected to be the busiest ever for online dating. Some sites have reported increases of up to 350% since Christmas.
Wow.
1 in 5 relationships now starts online, and it contributes almost £3.4 billion annually to the UK economy. David Cliff runs olderdatingonline.com. He says dating online is more socially acceptable now than it ever has been.
People are looking for a new start for the new year, which includes new relationships.
And what sort of an increase do you actually see?
Around 350% increase from Boxing Day to New Year. Then January itself remains very busy as well.
Now, many of your sites are aimed at older people. Why is that?
Well, as I was already over 50 when I started in the online dating business, I recognised the need for sites targeting people of my own age.
And 1 in 5 people now find love online. That's 20%. Any stigma that was attached to online dating that was around surely has gone now.
It has. There was a certain stigma attached to it, especially with older people years ago, but I don't think there's any stigma there at all now.
That's David Cliff from olderdatingonline.com.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
Now, your profile picture is possibly the most important part of getting online dating right, as it really is your shop window.
So, how do you do it? Joanna is a photographic expert.
I think the best thing to do is to try and think about what you want to portray about yourself, what would show your personality or your unique aspects to your personality. So, if you're a more kind of outdoors type person, then to take a photograph of yourself outdoors. If you're perhaps, could show your interests, or just to bring your personality to life through the photograph.
Is it a good idea to sort of have it straight on or at an angle?
I think it's really frustrating when you're obviously looking to see somebody in a photograph and it's quite difficult to see them properly. So I would say that it's always good to try and show your face really clearly. But also, that doesn't have to be sort of a straight-on shot looking straight into the camera, because sometimes that can look a bit weird and look a little bit like a passport photo. So it's better just to ensure that you can be seen fully in the photograph, but, to show yourself in a sort of natural light.
And what about lighting? Is that important? Do you need to sort of pay attention to that?
Well, lighting is always important in photography. It's probably the most important thing in photography, to get the lighting right. But lighting can have some really great effects as well. So, think about your lighting in terms of, making sure that you're not sort of very illuminated by light, so that it looks a bit weird, like a passport photograph, which is a very flat light. But you can use lighting to help invoke a mood in a photography. So perhaps think about lighting coming from a side angle, or lighting coming from sort of, if you imagine a clock face, lighting coming from sort of about 1 o'clock, rather than lighting coming straight on. And definitely try and avoid shooting directly into light, because that doesn't always create a great photograph.
And what about black and white? Would that be a good idea? Quite arty?
Yeah, I think so. Black and white photography is very trendy, and it has that sort of reportage feel to it. Black and white photography is also quite good at getting sort of clarity of an image. So again, if you're trying to convey yourself and to show yourself clearly, then black and white photography is good. It's not always easy to take black and white photographs, though. So, perhaps you could take your photograph in full colour, and then, there's loads of Photoshop programs and programs on iPad apps and things like that you can change you could then change your photograph to black and white and just sort of play around a bit, really.
And they say the camera never lies. Is that true?
That's not true at all, because you can do so many Photoshop tricks with an image now. I mean, you can, you know from all the things that you can, the apps that you can use, you can fundamentally change photographs quite easily, and you can make fake photographs very easily. So I'm afraid that isn't a true statement at all. But, obviously photography is a great way of showing, you and your personality, and, I think just try and get across a sense of who you are in the photograph, and that will always be to your advantage.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
Now, Anniko is from Hungary. She's a model and also a fitness expert. She's in her 50s and looks amazing. I would like to meet her.
Calm down, Rod. Calm down.
Now, she has a fantastic body.
Calm down.
Tells us about her approach to food.
Have you been stalking her on Facebook?
No.
How do you know she's got a fantastic body?
Anyway, she tells us about her approach to food and also dieting.
If you restrict it too much, then your mind is actually going to focus on the restrictions, and you're actually going to be obsessed about eating. So if I go out, I eat as normally as possible in a restaurant, but I might actually ask the waiter to adjust the meal for me slightly.
Okay, so you're saying this is much more of a lifestyle rather than a sort of fad diet?
You can't. I mean, even my clients, when they ask me about a quick fix, so there's no such thing. Any fad diet that comes in, my simple questions to them, will you be able to eat like that for the rest of your life? Okay. And if the answer is, oh, no, I wouldn't want to, they said, well, don't bother. Because once you stop that restricted diet, the weight is going to go back on and more. Bad news too.
This is a dating podcast.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to ask you for a couple of tips. I mean, first of all, when you're getting ready for a first date, how long does that take you?
We were just talking about it because all my friends happen to be single.
Okay.
Yes, so this is our favorite topic of conversation, and everybody would love that answer. We always say the first date is not a date, it's a meeting. So that's short and sharp, half an hour, a coffee or something like that, maybe a light bite. So you can get away quickly if you have to. Because if you like the person, you can always move on.
Yep.
Or straight away make your second date, and that is the date. So the first one you don't want to over-prepare, because it's probably going to be somewhere lunchtime or afternoon or early evening as a meeting. So you don't want to come up all dolled up and with your best push-up bras, with your cleavage cut down right down your belly button. That scares the guy. That really scares the guy. So something that's kind of like something special, like a girl next door with a little twist.
Okay, now I have to say, regardless of whatever you've been saying and smiling there and whatever you're doing...
I just like the way she said push-up bra.
Push-up bra.
And belly button.
That's Nicole. Okay, but her tips really are... That sounds so rude, doesn't it? But her dating advice is so good. Can
we get her back next time?
We will get her back next time.
Okay, and can I be here?
Only if you're a good boy.
Oh, so... Anniko will be on the next edition, and also we will go to the HQ of olderdatingonline.com.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.